Over the next few videos, I wish to speak briefly about mystery. So often we want answers that neatly tie things up so that we can kind of put them in a box and then put them away. But we cannot really do that with God, can we? While many will tell you that they have it all figured out, you might want to look elsewhere for new leaders, for much about God is mystery. Over the next few videos, we will look at some of the mysteries of God with the hopes that we will be drawn into the awe and wonder of God. This session will deal with death. In future sessions, we'll look at sacrament and symbols and creation stories. In this session, I want to speak to you about the mystery of death. As chaplain at the local hospital, I deal with death on a regular basis, which might sound morbid, but I have truly discovered that death is a sacred and holy experience where God offers much love and grace. 3 quick stories. First, I stood one evening at the bedside of a young mother who developed complications after the birth of her child. Surgery was performed and she was then sent to ICU, where her sisters gathered around the bedside. It was quite clear that death was imminent, and following prayer, we stood there and watched as she slowly slipped away. As soon as she died, the sisters began to ask who was going to call the mother, who was homesick and had missed all of the experiences of the day. As they spoke about how to tell her, the cell phone of the oldest daughter rang. We could hear the daughter say, "Who told you?" And as she hung up, one of the sisters asked, "She knows? How? We are all here." The oldest daughter said that her mother answered the question, "Who told you?" by answering, "She was just here. She stopped by to say goodbye." It sent chills over me. At another time, an elderly friend of mine was sedated on a ventilator in ICU following a fall. Her husband was at home being cared for by their granddaughter when in the middle of the night, the porch doors opened to their apartment and wind rushed down the hall to the bedroom. The phenomena had not happened before, and it was determined that it happened at the exact time of his wife's death. He took great comfort in the visitation given to him. Finally, the third story involves the mother of my wife, who had been battling dementia for quite some time. She did not recognize us and had become quite belligerent over her last weeks. Ann and I had been out of town, and upon returning, I went home and Ann went to her mother's. It was not long before Ann called me to come quickly. As I entered the room, Ann and the hospice nurse were at the bedside, and the whole atmosphere of the room was different than before. Ann's mother was animated and happy as she seemed to be seeing persons who had outrun her to the Father's house. At one point, her mother realized that Ann was there, and she reached out with her hands and cupped Ann's face and exclaimed, "Oh, Ann!" as if she thought Ann was in heaven with her too. It was a joyous and blessed moment. Soon her mother was gone, but what a gift. What does this all mean? I don't know. It's a mystery. Paul said it in his letter to the Corinthians, "Behold, I will tell you a mystery. We will not all sleep, but we will all be changed." When you encounter a mystery, do not concern yourself with trying to understand it. God is opening a window for you to experience a small taste of glory. Stand in awe and wonder of God's presence and experience God's love, joy, peace, and hope in the moment. So let's not fall into the temptation of placing God into a box. Rather, let's open ourselves to the mystery found in the awe and wonder of God's eternal life.